how to invest quickly. If you are short on time, but you know you want to invest your money, then today's video is for you. I am Tiffany Thomas, your wealth mentor. I achieved financial freedom in my 30s and became a millionaire at 40. I'm here to help you do that even earlier and easier. So let's dive right in. All right, in today's video, we are discussing how to invest quickly, because I know a lot of us are really busy with all of the things that are going on in our lives, with family, with work, with traveling, whatever it might be. So the quicker we can invest our money, then the better off we're going to be, because we're actually going to invest our money, get it working for us. So today I'm going to break down the steps on how to invest quickly. And before we get into the nitty-gritty details, it's important that we have our foundation set up, that we know what we are investing for. So we want to make sure that we are setting our financial goals. And I feel like this one is really important because it makes investing so much easier. I know that for me, when I set a goal to become financially free, I knew exactly how I was going to do that because I had my goal set. And I knew that I wanted to invest for the long term and not try to make a quick win overnight. And I knew that I could invest in the stock market and in real estate in order to achieve my goal. But if I didn't set that goal, then I would probably just haphazardly invest here and there, and I would probably just stick to the stock market, which is fine. But I knew I wanted to achieve that financial freedom and create passive income as quickly as possible. So I chose to purchase one more investment property so that I could have more passive income coming in that would cover my expenses. So figure out what it is you are investing for. What is that goal? And make sure that you are being specific with that goal. If it is to achieve financial freedom, when do you want to achieve financial freedom? And what's the amount of money you are going to need to invest in order to live off of that passive income? Or how much passive income do you want to create right now through real estate in order to cover your expenses so that you can become financially free? And then the second part of this is to understand the investment vehicles that we can use. For example, like I said, I use the stock market and real estate. But if you are looking to invest quickly, you just want to get your money invested right away so that you don't really have to think about it, then the stock market is a great way to do that. It's a great investment vehicle. So that is what I'm going to go into more detail about in today's video so that you can keep your investing very simple and do it very quickly. There are different investments that we can invest in inside of the stock market. For example, we can invest in individual companies, individual stocks, like buying a share of Amazon or a share of Tesla or a share of McDonald's or Costco, all different sorts of companies. And then we can also invest in bonds or even a bond fund. So you can choose to invest in a particular bond, or you can invest in a bond fund which has a whole bunch of bonds inside of just one single fund. Or you can invest in a fund that has stocks inside of that fund. For example, it would have Amazon and Tesla and McDonald's and a whole bunch of other companies inside of just one single fund. And if you are looking to invest very quickly, then an easy way is to pick a fund. And you can even choose a fund that has stocks and bonds inside of it. I personally do like investing in an index fund with a whole bunch of stocks inside of it. And if you want to know which one that is, I have another video breaking that down. I will leave a link above. You can check it out later on. And going along with the different investment options within the stock market, you can also invest in what's called an ETF, an exchange traded fund. And this can also have a whole bunch of stocks inside of it or a whole bunch of bonds, or even a combination. And if you want to know the difference among mutual funds, index funds, and ETFs, I have another video breaking that all down, so I will leave a link to that one above and you can check it out later on as well. And then the third item that I want to bring up is selecting your investment account. There are a number of different accounts out there that you can set up and then invest in the stock market inside of one of those accounts. For example, if you have a 9-to-5 job, maybe your employer offers a 401k and you can invest in that 401k. Or if you have your own business, you can set up your own accounts. For example, you could do a SEP IRA or even a different type of account. And honestly, if you are self-employed or you are working for someone else, you can set up just a regular Roth IRA or even a traditional IRA. And then there's also just a simple taxable brokerage account, and anyone can invest inside of a taxable brokerage account as well. And if you want more detail about these different types of accounts, I have another video about that. I will leave a link above. But nonetheless, you want to select at least one of these accounts, if not more, so that you can invest quickly. You can get your money invested. I personally like using Vanguard, and I have an account with them, actually multiple investment accounts with Vanguard. They've been around for a really long time, so I feel like they are a pretty stable company, and they actually are the ones that invented the index fund. So you can set up one of these accounts with Vanguard or with another brokerage firm. And I know that you want to get your money invested quickly, but you want to make sure that you are selecting investments or even a brokerage firm with really low fees. We want to pay as little as possible in fees so that we can keep the majority of our own money. That's another reason I like Vanguard. They have really low fees with their index funds, so it makes it very inexpensive to invest with a Vanguard index fund. And you are still getting really good returns. Once you have your investment account set up with Vanguard or with another brokerage firm, then you can start investing your money inside of the stock market. You can pick that index fund or an ETF or an individual stock, whatever type of investment you would like to. And when you are looking for those certain types of investments, make sure to look at those fees. It's called an expense ratio when you are investing in an index fund or an ETF. So make sure you look for the expense ratio number, and something really low would be 0.03%, 0.04%. Something high would be 1% or higher. I know we want to get this done quickly, but we want to be smart about it as well. So make sure and check out the fees. And the next item that I want to bring up is doing your research on these different investments that you are picking. And if you want to do this as quickly as possible, then like I said, going with an index fund is going to be a very fast route, because when you are investing in an index fund, it has a whole bunch of companies or even bonds inside of just one single fund. So you don't have to do a ton of research on these different index funds. Whereas if you were looking to invest in one single company, then you would want to do quite a bit of research on that company, because you're going to have more exposure to just that company. And we don't want to be making an investment that we think is good, but not really doing our homework and then losing our money later on. And then moving right along, the next thing I want to bring up is dollar cost averaging. If we want to invest as quickly as possible, then we can just dollar cost average. And that means that it doesn't matter what the price of the investment is at a particular time. We are just going to set up a certain time that we want to invest our money and get it invested. So we could say, all right, once a month I'm going to invest in this certain index fund without fail, whether the price is high or whether the price is low. Because I know if I do this consistently every single month, it is going to average out the cost of the investment. Hence, dollar cost averaging. And this is also really beneficial to us because it helps us take the emotion out of investing. If we are just deciding to invest, no matter if the price is high or low, we aren't going to look at the investment and think, oh, should I wait a little bit longer? Or should I even sell some of my investment? We are just going to think, you know what? I know I want to get my money invested right away. So it doesn't matter what the price is, because I've chosen a good investment that I know is going to grow over the long term. And I'm not so worried about what is happening in the short term. This is how I like to do my investing, and I even have this automated for myself, which is actually the next piece we are going to talk about. But honestly, I have my certain amount that I invest every single month in the stock market into my favorite index fund, and it is completely automated. So I am not worried about the price dipping down or being too high, because I know it's a good investment and it will go up over the long term. And now let's talk about the automation part of investing, because if we really want to invest quickly, then why not take ourselves out of the equation and just automate the whole process? And we can actually do this with some index funds. So it makes it really nice if we are choosing that simple investment in an index fund, because then we actually can automate it. So when you are looking for that brokerage firm to invest with, make sure that they have an option for automation if that is something you are going to do, and see what types of investments they let you automate. And honestly, this has been such a game changer for me because I really like keeping my investments on the back burner as much as possible so that I can spend my time on other things that I enjoy more. And if this seems a little confusing still, I have a free masterclass where I go over how I can help you invest in the stock market very simply and even automate your investing. I will leave a link to that below in the description. You can click on that and check out the free masterclass. And one other point that I want to bring up is that some of these brokerage firms or platforms that you can invest with online have a robo-advisor option, or even just more of an automated option. So they are selecting the investments for you and doing it for you. And I personally don't use one of these because of the fees that are involved, and I also want control over my own investments. But there is that option. I would just be very careful on the fees that they are charging and making sure that it is actually worth it, because you can still automate your investing on your own and not have an extra fee charged. All right, comment below and tell me if you are going to start investing or if you already have. And if you found this video helpful, please hit that like button and share it with someone else who would like to hear this information. And hit the subscribe button to subscribe to my YouTube channel, and hit the little bell to get notified on when I post new videos. And if you want to see even more amazing content from me, make sure and check out the videos on the side of the screen. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.